This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
We dive in deep into the heart of the Bugsay philosophy of the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated.
The Bugsay is an oar, and that the fisherman uses to kind of propel himself towards his goal every single day. We use the metaphor for just our continued work, no matter how big the waves are.
With their pillar programs focused on improving the economic well-being of communities, creating opportunities for growth, and improving a sense of identity and purpose, and building healthy, resilient, and livable communities. Organizations dedicated to help the marginalized not only allow the poor to survive for the day, but also build communities that are able to adapt and recover. Today, we look at how a Cebu-based foundation envisions the future with healthy, skilled, financially responsible, and socially conscious citizens strong enough to thrive during tough times. I'm Pinky Webb, and this is Business Matters, where doing good is good business. The year 2020 has brought a major pandemic casualty, with at least 8.7 million jobs lost during the Enhanced Community Quarantine, or ECQ, from March to May. As the crisis bludgeoned the economy, many people were driven out of the workforce, including small-scale entrepreneurs. Like Delia, who was forced to shutter the craft shop she built from scratch in her hometown in Cebu.
Na ako'y daghang materialis akong kumpra. Ako ratong gipatrabaho, sir, din akong gistock. Month of October, giingnan mi sa among buyer nga kunsa na human ako diha ipakargada. Mo to nakargada. Net ko atong 700 kapin, sir, kay kuhaan ako materialis dito sa Bidiga. Pagkahuman ato, nasira na sad.
Living in the countryside of Central Visayas, which economy dwindled by 9.9% in 2020, and unemployment rate jumped from 5.2% to 10.3%, Delia, a cancer survivor, had to bear the distress of being unable to support those who rely on her.
Ang akong chandelier sirado gyud kay close ang exporter, close po dito. Katong mga materialis nga ako nakumpra, ako gitong gipabuhat sa akong mga tao. Para po ang mga tao in town, sir, na po din tayo matrabaho. Kaya baka lisod kayo. Ako rin silang gipang apuran o bugas sa kasako.
This crisis is a cruel setback, especially for daily wage earners such as Rosalie, who got retrenched from the company she worked for.
Nagsara kay tungod sa pandemic. Wa may mahimo kay desisyon naman sila, ordinary close sila. Unsaon na lang pag kuan ang akong hanap anang panginabuhi nga wala ay trabaho. Kumba na wala po, lockdown na.
Without funds to fall back on, her family had to hold firmly to whatever help they could get from other people.
Ang mga silingan diri, sir, mo assist po sa mga tao diri nga wala ba. Pag tinabangay na lang po sila.
Sa Visayas talaga, we were really affected. And it was really difficult to recover. Our micro-entrepreneurs, especially those dependent on tourism, they were really affected.
Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. Microfinance is a program under the Microfinance and Entrepreneur Focus area of the Cebu-based Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated. Established in 1998, it operates in provinces across Visayas such as Cebu, Bohol, and Leyte, and has opened new branches in Bicol and Mindanao to serve more.
To date, we have actually served almost 500,000 clients. Since the pandemic, in terms of the working capital, we have released actually around 5 billion in loans to them. For this year alone, we have trained around 2,000 of our clients.
RAFI MFI has saved thousands of micro enterprises and provided safety nets amid the economic meltdown, including Delia and Rosalie, who both look for an alternative to support their living.
Mautong pagka-December, sir, nakadesisyon ko nga magbaboy ko. Naisip na ko, gumikan ka dato, Sir Oliver.
Ang RAFI kay mag-aaral siya bayaran, gamay ra ang interest. Last month, marami akong order sa shellscraft. This month, kana na pong kwintas-kwintas.
An integral component of RAFI's economic pillar, RAFI MFI has been providing both financial and non-financial services to the vulnerable and marginalized sector.
It's really more of providing working capital to these micro-entrepreneurs. For the non-financial services, we have been conducting trainings and even scholarship to select children of our clients. We have also actually offered another venue, the RAFI Microfinance Tindahan ni Nanay. We're also expanding the Tindahan ni Nanay to providing tatays, also a venue for becoming the delivery, the courier services of our nanays.
Furthermore, RAFI has rendered medical assistance to communities so people may have something to turn to during an emergency.
The problem that we would like to address and even support is that we would like to also contribute to the poverty elevation and unemployment. We would like to empower them so that they will have a tool for them to really manage their own business and to stand on their own in the future.
Perhaps the best thing to do when one hits rock bottom is begin cultivating the ground. For Ramon Aboites Foundation Incorporated Microfinance, it means starting from the grassroots in order to develop financially responsible and accountable drivers of the economy.
If we are able to also make our micro-entrepreneurs sustainable, they would really be able to also generate more jobs and be able to help their community as well.
Staying home to stay safe.
And staying out of recession.
With the rhythms of everyday life changing and COVID-19 cases still rising, how do we stop the virus from spreading?
Our movements already restricted, economic activity limited. How do we resuscitate an ailing economy?
I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez.
I'm Rico Hizon.
Lives
and livelihood. Finding balance amid the pandemic.
Thursday, May 27th, 8 p.m., only on CNN Philippines.
Despite the restrictions, RAFI allows the world to see and experience Cebuano culture for a deeper understanding of their past, a greater appreciation of the present, and a better preparation for the nation's future. The COVID-19 pandemic has drastically changed the face of our history. Despite the hardships, one must not forget what made us who we are as a nation. A virtue RAFI hopes to develop, especially in the youth.
The social well-being pillar really focuses on three areas. First is leadership and citizenship, second is culture and heritage, and the third is education development.
To instill Cebuano pride and leadership values among the youth, RAFI has designed diverse programs that tackle social issues, equip leaders, and enable communities through powerful world-class learning and development programs.
70% of our participants come from the youth, particularly from our public schools. So we have spent and invested in resources so that we are able to make these available to them.
A Among these is the Cool Adventure Camp, a 13-hectare facility which is the first and only fully dedicated adventure education center in the Philippines.
We have been a program officially since 1999. But in 2013, we moved to this new facility, and since then, we have been training young people, professionals from corporates to LGUs, NGOs, sangguniang kabataan leaders. Every year, we have an average of about 8,000 to 10,000. That was before the pandemic.
This program aims to empower youth leaders and youth-serving organizations to create positive change within their areas of influence.
Good job, everybody.
It also strives to keep the brand mission in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and enable leaders and communities through relevant virtual courses.
We have brought all of our services online, and we call them virtual learning sessions. They're still as powerful, and they serve different outcomes as well, such as resilience, addressing mental health, talking about safety in the workplace and in schools, preparing for all of these limitations now of working with the pandemic.
RAFI proves that the restrictions put in place never stopped them from carrying out their mission to strengthen the Cebuano virtues. The same way, it found indigenous ways to celebrate Cebuano heritage through programs intended to awaken the people's interest in history and promote cultural awareness.
The news of new technologies is very important and very timely. That Ramon Aboitiz Foundation was able to capture the audiences, that especially in this period of the Quincentennial. All the videos that have been produced, all the webinars are still available for access, not just in Cebu, but all over the Philippines and the world.
Hi! Welcome to Casa Berardo Museum.
RAFI's Culture and Heritage Unit devotedly preserves Cebuano artifacts and conducts programs that celebrate Cebuano culture. In preparation for the safe reopening of tourist sites and facilities, RAFI CHU is taking comprehensive measures for a strong and sustainable recovery. RAFI believes that creating a future-ready and socially conscious nation starts from shaping the youth through education. Hence, capacitating school communities for the continuous improvement of learning is at the forefront of its Education Development Unit.
The RAFI Education Development Unit partners with education stakeholders to provide conducive learning environments through the provision of quality, cost-effective school infrastructure. We enable school communities to improve and innovate through an assessment and awards program called the Seal of Excellence in Education Development, or SEED, which has awarded over 20.4 million in grants to participating schools.
We are a part of the RAFI SEED, the top 5 finalists, and hoping to at least to be one of the most performing schools in our province, or definitely in the whole Cebu.
Parang yung RAFI, isa rin yan sa weapon ng lungsod na ganun karami rin na itulong nila para mabago yung pag-iisip ng mga kababayan namin dito sa lungsod.
That and involving the youth in creating a better tomorrow. RAFI will always live up to its mission to and preserve the distinct Cebuano pride and heritage, no matter what challenges may arise.
Social well-being is really about looking at the person's ability to thrive, believing that you can be someone, you can do something, having a sense of connection to your history, your heritage. Ngayon, we are celebrating the 500th year of the victory of Mactan. So there's so much pride in terms of being Cebuano.
So we approach our work with the belief that people and communities are the ones that have their own dreams and goals, and they have it within them to make them come true, to attain their goals.
Yay!
Aside from economic and social issues, the physical well-being of Cebuanos and Filipinos must also be well taken care of in order for us to have a healthy, resilient, and livable communities. Brenda Granada and her sister Elsa Tapik can still vividly recall the pain of knowing that they have been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer.
Siguro mga 9 years, but I never mind about it.
Upon knowing that I have a lump, I consulted doctor. After mga 15 days, the result was stage 2 breast cancer. So upon knowing it, I cried a lot.
Elsa is a teacher by profession while Brenda works for the government. Both were financially struggling at the time. But their worries eased upon learning that the RAFI Eduardo J. Aboitis Cancer Center can help with their predicament.
Our chances of winning the battle is actually higher if we start our battle with awareness and screening for early detection. It's basically teaching them how to do pap smear and clinical breast exam. During the last 3 years, for example, we were able to serve 270 Cebuanos for treatment and more than 14,000 Cebuanos for screening.
Another pillar program caters for physical well-being is the RAFI Dolores Aboitis Children's Fund.
RAFI DASF enables communities to champion for children to reach their full potentials.
According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, 31% of Filipino children are born poor.
Early childhood is really the formative years of children. It is very important for us to invest on these years because it has a lasting impact of a person's development.
All these undeserved children only need a fighting chance, which RAFI DASF provides in the form of early education, psychosocial development, and health and nutrition program grants, collaborating with different local government units and organizations, one of which is the SOS Children's Village in Cebu.
We always believe that raising children would really take a village. And DASF is one of our village communities, helping our own communities as well.
And over the past decade, the RAFI DASF has successfully reached out to underserved children through their 148 child development centers found all over Cebu and parts of the Visayas and Mindanao, even continuing on with their good work despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
We gave out more than 10,000 children some care packages. We were also able to provide medical support for children with COVID.
The RAFI 1 to 3 program is a reforestation advocacy which offers community-based and environmentally appropriate native tree growing services, partnering with local farmers for the maintenance of trees and well-known responsible brands in the country. Growing more than 8.6 million trees and 1.2 million mangroves in more than 10,000 hectares of land in Cebu since 2017.
We truly believe in tree growing because it goes so much further than just planting a seedling. It's about growing trees and making them sustain themselves and survive simply past the seedling stage, and that's one thing we pride ourselves on.
The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic was unprecedented, but always ready to help is the Ramon Aboitis Foundation.
Since the complexity and the impact of the various disasters have really been increasing over the past years, the Humanitarian Disaster Preparedness and Response, or HDPR program of RAFI, was developed.
Some programs include the distribution of relief goods through the Adopt a Barangay 2.0 program, free ambulance access to COVID patients, the provision of PPEs, free shuttle and free accommodation for frontliners, mobile bloodletting drives, the Comunidad Contra COVID communication campaign, and providing portable hand-washing stations for barangays. The physical well-being program set in motion by RAFI is their commitment in building a healthy, livable, and resilient communities, not just for their partner beneficiaries, but for all Filipinos.
We use the metaphor of an architect because the architect comes in and he works with people. They ask questions, they understand the landscapes, but at the end of the day, we turn over the project to the community. We turn over the project to the organization, and really it's theirs, and they have that sense of ownership over the project.
Mano po, a traditional Filipino gesture, a sign of respect to our elders. The power of the word please and thank you. More than just pleasantries, they're necessary to show respect and appreciation, much like wearing a mask.
Acer Philippines, with a vast 40 years of experience in breaking the barriers between technology and people, we introduce new features that are mostly designed from work from home and learn from home setup. We utilize the latest Intel processor and AMD processor to give more efficiency, more power optimization, and key components that gives us robust and sturdy design, which are key features that the consumers are really looking for in terms of coping up with our pandemic situation. It's really Wi-Fi capable, and at the same time, we design our notebooks in terms of communication. So communication and collaboration is really a key in order for us to integrate these features in terms of our notebook portfolio. What's good about with Acer is that Acer is really known for value for money. This year, our approach is more on holistic. So we have mid-range and we also have high-end notebooks to cater for all walks of life. It's very important because, for example, if you're a mom, if you are using the notebook in terms of live selling or doing your own small businesses, or for students for learning from home, they really need to have a laptop in terms of collaboration with their professors or with their teachers. I think this is the best time for us to announce that we have our tablet bundling program, the Acer 1+1. Whenever consumers purchase our Acer Swift and Acer Spin, they are entitled to have the Acer 18T2 tablet, which complementing to our Acer notebook portfolio. These computing devices are perfectly tailored in coping up with the pandemic situation. What's good about with our promotion for this quarter is that it's like hitting two birds with one stone. You will have the powerful laptop and at the same time tablet, which are complementing gadgets. So I would like to take this opportunity for us to invite you to visit our Acer online store and our flagship and authorized dealers for you to purchase our Acer Swift and Spin with our promotional Acer 1+1 with a free tablet. The promo duration is until June 15, 2021. With Acer 1+1, you will have the best of both worlds.
Thanks in part to the availability of COVID-19 vaccines, Filipinos are now slowly moving forward beyond the new normal. And along with it comes hope. To further combat the effects of COVID-19 in Cebu, the Ramon Aboides Foundation Incorporated, or RAFI, has now started with the implementation of Phase 3.0 of their Comunidad Contra COVID campaign. The rollout of of vaccines from all over the country is all well underway. However, there are still some skeptics about its role and efficacy, reaching a point where misinformation has been spread.
RAFI got in touch with us, no, kasi they understood that if people listen to doctors, no, iba yung dating ng information. Here in the community, kasi kailangan mo talaga silang puntahan no, para dumating yung message sa kanila.
Along with senior citizens, persons with disabilities or PWDs are also among those who are highly at risk when it comes to any disaster or crises like the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sabi ng iba naming kaibigan, ayaw daw nila magpa-immunize dahil ito nga, polio daw sila. So I asked them why. Sabi nila, Ate Cora, yun nga ang experience namin noon. Dahil daw yun sa injection, hindi daw properly managed na isang doktor. Pero sabi ko din sa kanila, kaya nga magpa-immunize tayo dahil sa sad experience natin na yung mga parents natin sa una hindi aware. So it could be na mabiktima na naman tayo second time.
If it takes an entire village to build a community, what more when it comes to the fight against COVID-19? That's why RAFI puts significant importance to collaboration and partnerships, as we all need to do our part in hoping to beat this pandemic.
Ang bottom line dito yung acceptance ng vaccine. Kasi we want to hit the target, yung 70% na herd immunity. Marami ng tao na lumalawak yung pag-unawa patungkol sa bakuna. And they're starting to accept the vaccine.
And in preparation for the resumption of face-to-face interactions, the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated has already installed portable hand-washing stations through the project How Us, like the facility in Compostela National High School.
We are always practicing the minimum health protocols in the school. In fact, that the moment you enter the school, we have the hand washing facility, we have the temperature check, then we need to trace the background or we need to trace the numbers. So in case there will be infections, then at least we could do the tracing immediately and smoothly. We are very thankful to RAFI that they provide the facility.
The arrival of vaccines brought forth a new sense of normalcy, along with the hope that we may soon be able to move forward with our lives once restrictions have lifted. And when that happens, RAFI has eagerly prepared their facilities for social activities, ready for Cebuanos to appreciate culture and heritage once more. Or even let families and visitors enjoy a day out in nature, basking under the warm glow of the sun, taking in a breath of fresh air, while appreciating the beauty of the surrounding environment inside their cool adventure camp.
Hopefully, when it's safe to go out again and do face-to-face activities, we want to go on expeditions again. So what we have done is we are preparing the center. We've shifted some of our practices, safety practices.
Though we still live in uncertain times, the Filipino spirit and positive outlook is still shining at its brightest. Gradually, we will be able to carry on with our lives far from the health crisis. And when we do, the Ramon Aboitiz Foundation Incorporated will be there with us, continuing on with their great work as an architect of change, empowering people, shaping the future, and charting the way forward.
We use the metaphor in RAFI of the bugsay, which is an oar that the fisherman uses with his bangka every day, and he goes out there and he paddles, and it doesn't matter whether it's a storm or if it's calm. It's about having a really clear goal, which to us is helping people improve their lives, and having that dedication and passion and using what we have in hand to just keep going.
For comments, suggestions, and updates, do follow us on Facebook at Business Matters PH. I'm Pinky Webb, and this is Business Matters, where doing good is good business.
is rated P.